Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for checking this out. This is another edition of the Bread4Soul Convos, and today I've got a legendary figure, a super legendary figure in Vinny Da Vinci, and we're talking about somebody who's a pioneer, of South African house music with um, two compilations of Africanism and two again with What's Fat Pussycat compilations, and released 10 deep house sound compilations. That's Praveen. Like you've done a lot for this scene, and thank you so much for joining me on this convo.
Nice one, Lucille, for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And one thing that I wanted to mention again, like on a minimum, you play
Mhm.
104 gigs a year, and this is a minimum. and and the way I
Did
the way I
you count?
calculated this, I did. I counted, but the way I calculated it is because you do a weekly session, yeah, vinyl Thursdays, without fail, whether
Yeah.
it's raining, whether it's winter, like you are doing these sessions obviously before the lockdown, but
Mhm.
before that you also were doing while you were doing the vinyl Thursdays, you were doing a weekly Mohodu Monday session in Bryanston, and to have deep house in such an area like Bryanston, on a weekly,
Yes.
it's really dope, and I commend you for that, Bravin, because out of these 104 gigs, these are gigs that you were not waiting for anybody to be calling you. You know what I mean? This is just you doing what you love and showing dedication, and I really admire that, Bravini.
Yes.
Um,
No, nice one. I suppose mostly it, it's because of the love of the craft. I love to play music. I love to play music for the people, and especially music to the people who are like-minded with what I enjoy.
yeah,
It's such a beautiful feeling for me to be playing a track to somebody, and I'm looking at their face, and they're smiling, and they're enjoying it. So,
yeah,
so for me, it means I'm doing something right. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
unlike yeah, I mean, you mentioned the 100 and whatever gigs, and the side gigs that I do, especially talking about the final Thursdays and that Monday session in Bryanston. Yeah, I mean it's something that I decided I felt I had to do because one, starting from the Monday sessions. Yes, I know Monday is an awkward night
yeah,
to have people out to come out and listen to music, but I figured, you know what, it's a way to introduce music,
mm,
and especially in our genre.
mm,
There's a lot of music coming out each and every day. It's not
yeah,
about seasonal.
yeah,
It's every day. There's a lot of tracks that are coming out. So for me, it's like, okay, fine, we're buying the music. So why can't we play it
yeah,
and create platforms where, I know if I bought 10 tracks today, I can play them today.
yeah,
And they might not dance, but for me, it's about education. They will know the track, come a week or 2 weeks later, they will know it.
yeah,
And I mean, now talking about the Vinyl Thursday, that one for me is so personal because, we've been collecting vinyl for many years. I mean, I've been collecting vinyl since the 90s, you know what I mean? So the early 90s. And I've got it like right here. Why can't I use it?
yeah,
I understand the fact that we're not getting booked to play vinyl too often. I think uh, for a vinyl booking for me maybe comes 2 3 times a year,
mm,
and I'm in a year with like 365 days. I mean,
yeah,
even I've got so much vinyl. Why can't I play it?
sure,
Create another platform where I can play my vinyl. I've got it.
yeah,
So I mean, why do I have it and I'm not using it? You know what I mean?
yeah,
So for me, it's something like that. And even with those vinyls that I've got over the years, what's nice about it is that it's so funny because you're playing a vinyl today, that I bought in, say, the year 2000, and somebody comes to you and say, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Today, 2020,
Yeah.
and then you bought this record 20 years ago, and somebody says to you, what is that?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, wow. So a lot of the people out there, they don't even know what came out in 2020.
Yeah.
They know what's current, and a record that was released 2020 ago still works.
Yes.
It still works today. So for me, it means, you know what, there is a lot of music out there.
And it's the power of music as well, to show that music does really transcend over time. I've seen what Ed Jazz has been doing. He's been re-releasing some of the old Ed Jazz material into
Yes.
on Bandcamp, because some people might have missed an Ed Jazz release from 5 years ago and didn't even know about it. But now, because he's gained new followers, there's new people who are into the scene, and you are introducing music to them. It's new music, you know what I mean? And it just shows the power of music, definitely. But talking about records, I want to know, how were you acquiring records in your early stages? What was the process like? Which record label stores were you going to at that time?
I mean, you're talking about probably late 80s and then early 90s. And I was still living in Pretoria, in Mabopani. And for me, it was getting into a taxi to come to Johannesburg. And, you know, Christos had a record store in Orange Grove. And then Team White also had a record store in Hillbrow. And there was another store in next to Mamelodi in this place, I think it's Silverton. Oh, no, not even Silverton, Watlu, where I used to collect. So for me, when I leave home, because I was playing at a club in Soshanguve called Cherries. So I'll leave on Friday morning get into a taxi on Friday morning, and then come to Joburg, go to Christos, collect a few, go to Team White, collect a few, and then on my way back, go to Watlu, next to Mamelodi, collect a few, and then go home. So for me, that's a full day of collecting vinyl. And remember, the only time you had to listen to it is when you were at the record store.
Yeah.
And then you had to play it the very same night.
Sure.
So, and for me, that was part of the culture of getting music, you know, and going at all the stores, you meet other DJs that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
Throughout all those travels for me, that's why I met a lot of the Joburg DJs from Tembisa, from Foslo, from Soweto, everywhere. And I'm like, oh, so that's him. Oh, that's him. You know, people like Kanyani, I met them, you know, at all those record stores. People were like, oh, here's Kanyani.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you find that they were like, oh, here's Vinny. You're like, oh, that's the guy from Pretoria.
Yeah.
So that's how this community met, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, yes. I mean, it was a struggle because you couldn't buy a lot of vinyl back then. But even if I can get 2, 3 vinyls every weekend, it adds on to what I have. Onto what I have.
Yeah.
The records onto your set.
And
that's perfect.
And before you know it, like today, what's happening? You shared this story with me. Tell us about how your vinyl room is looking right now.
Like, I mean, if anybody can see my vinyl room right now, there will be something like it's just vinyl everywhere. You know, you step over on top of a vinyl. The other day I tripped and fell in my vinyl room because so much vinyl. And fortunately, this lockdown is helping me because I'm making time each and every day to go into that vinyl to sort it out, so that hopefully by the time we're out of this, you know, and while sorting it out, damn man, I'm getting so much music. Some of them I even forgot. You know, I'm like, because think about it, I'm listening to each and every vinyl that's in there.
And it's not like you are listening. You are listening.
Yes, I mean, I'm sorting it out,
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm listening,
yeah,
and I'm like, okay, this one, I forgot about it, but it still sounds nice today. I'll put it aside. This one, if I don't like it, I put it away because the plan is to get rid of a lot of it that I'm not using,
yes.
just to create space. That's boxes and boxes of vinyl. So I want to create space.
That is passion beyond limits, you know. And I
Hey,
wanna,
we are in lockdown now,
yeah,
so I've got time on my hands.
yes,
Use
yes.
that time to do something proactive.
Yes, definitely. No, but I'm saying having those amount of records is really passion. Like it's a big passion,
Yeah,
and it
yes.
it just shows you why you've been doing this for such a long time. It's the love, it's the passion. But I
The love
also,
is a passion.
yeah, yeah, I wanted to get into um while you are collecting records back in those days, and you've shared the story with me before, and if you could please share it again, how if you could paint a picture of how a DJ's night was looking, you know, for club night, and you were playing. You said you were at the time. This is before people were really into house music, and there used to be one DJ to play for 8 hours for that club.
Yes, I mean getting employed in a nightclub. And those days we had nightclubs,
Yeah,
not taverns, not Chisanyama or whatever.
yeah,
It was a nightclub, and a nightclub usually it's on the other side. Probably had as a restaurant where they sell food,
mm,
and on the other side is the bar, and then it's a full club. So and it was a business. I mean, they open in the morning, they close in the morning. You know what I mean? So you
yeah,
got people working to come there, cook, clean,
mm,
for the people who come from 6 o'clock in the evening till the next morning. So I mean, people go to work like it's a 9 to 5,
yeah,
and then we get there in the evening. As I'll get there to the club, and because I'm the only DJ, I'm playing from 8 o'clock till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning till tomorrow morning. So and collecting vinyl.
yeah,
So it means you have to play everything,
yes,
and by everything I mean all genres that you can think of. As long as it's a genre, especially I mean, I'll start off by playing if I'm early because usually I start at 8. I mean, by 8, you've got a couple of people in the club, but it's not really pumping yet. I'll be playing some ballads, believe
yeah,
it or not.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be playing Teddy Pendergrass, just to build on the night.
On
And
vinyl.
as the people come in, then you create a vibe. Then you play R&B, then you play soul, and then play house, and then in the middle of the night, maybe by midnight, you have to stop playing everything that's vibey
Mm,
and then play all those ballads again. So you have a cheek to cheek on the dance floor. I mean,
yeah,
if you're there with your girlfriend, now they're playing what Karen White or whatever. Get on the dance floor with your
yeah,
chick, have a few moves there, and then yeah, for like 15, 20 minutes, and then the vibe goes back again, and then till the morning,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, those were the 80s, well, the late 80s, early 90s, and that's how clubbing was about.
mm,
You don't just play house music the whole night, or you play kwaito the whole night, or whatever.
mm,
And kwaito was not even there at the time.
yeah,
It just the local tracks that you could hear at the time were the Brenda Fassis,
mm,
Chico and whatever. But somehow you had to play them
yeah,
because those songs that were happening at the time, especially locally.
yeah.
So yeah, you had to play everything alone from 8 in the evening till 4 in the morning.
Well,
And I don't think anybody could. All these DJs that are here today do that. Never. I don't think so.
no, I mean, like, I always hear people say, "Oh man, 3 hour sets are long," and I'm thinking, you don't know anything.
It's
You,
long.
you
Yes,
used to
three
play
hours
for
is long. Oh,
eight
you're playing
hours.
games.
Yeah, and I also wanted to chat about how um like back in the days when actually wait before that point something came to me while you were giving me an answer. So now this explains last year when you were playing at the Avant-Garde Vintage Lounge gig, not Vintage Lounge, Avant-Garde Troupe gig with DJ Spinner, and I walked into
Yeah,
Carfax, and Vinny's playing hip hop, but like it's like you jamming hip hop on vinyl, So I asked you, hey, bro, Vinny, did you just buy hip hop records, or and then you were like, no, these are stuff that you always had. So you did used
yeah.
to play hip hop, and you were knowledgeable about the genre.
Look, I mean, for me, because of the love of the music, even today, yes, I might not even collect as much as the down tempo or the hip hop as much. And remember, hip hop, there is hip hop that I like, and then there is hip hop. So for
Yeah.
me, I collect what I like.
Yes.
And like I said earlier when we started this convo, that I enjoy playing music to like-minded people. If I'm playing music to the people who enjoy what I like, look, my job is done, man. So it's at that event. I mean, avant-garde. It's not a house. It's not a house event. If you get booked there, look, they don't necessarily want house music, but they're not saying don't play it.
Yeah.
So I could have played house music, but I'm like, you know what? This is avant-garde. Let me play avant-garde music. And avant-garde music for me is almost like the B-sides.
Yes.
And a lot of the stuff I was playing there, some of it are the B-sides of tracks that I mean, that everybody knows. All the DJs, if they're collecting vinyl at the time, they know that you buy a record because side A is the one that you're buying it for. Because side B, it's a down-tempo track or whatever, I'm not going to use it. But for me, I will listen to that B-side and I'm like, you know what? Maybe one day it will come in handy.
Yes.
And then it did come handy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's what sometimes I'd like to say to everyone, and especially the vinyl collectors. Listen to your vinyl back and forth. Don't just listen to it or play the track that you bought it for.
Yeah.
Because there could be something surprising on the B-side that you never thought, you will ever play or you'll like even at that time. Because music is music. Unless if you really don't like down tempo, well, too bad.
Yeah,
too bad. Yeah.
So Bravini, tell me, so playing for such a long time in the scene, I've seen you like just at gigs when I'm watching, and I'd see you talking to all different kinds of people. Like I'm talking all different kinds. You talking to DJs. Somebody is coming from the crowd and you're having a conversation with them, and like you into the conversation, and then a different person comes through, but you have this way of connecting with people. Has it always been your way, or is it something that naturally happens with you?
Look, I've always been a people's person. I like people, and getting into this game, obviously, you will encounter a lot of people. You will meet a lot of people, and I'm that guy, that person, that DJ that when I play, it doesn't matter where, man. I like to play, and even after my set, stay.
Yeah.
And I like those people, and a lot of people. Some will criticize, and for me, criticism is good. It works. If somebody comes to you and say, "Vinny, that set was whack," I'll take it. I'm like, okay, this guy didn't like it or whatever. So clearly, there's something that I'm not doing okay, or maybe I need to improve on, because I'm that person that I believe in learning every day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be sitting here and like, okay, fine, because I've been playing for 3 decades, so I know everything. No, it doesn't mean that. For me, I feel like a young guy, a young DJ out there can come here and kick your ass anytime.
Yeah.
Not because you've been playing for 30 years doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got experience, but it doesn't mean that you know everything. Yeah. So I like to interact, even with the young DJs. We talk, and for me, it's almost like that 2 minutes, that 1 minute for me could spark something in my mind.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I'm empowering my knowledge
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
For me, it goes both ways. So, and it can be a DJ, it can be just a fan, it can be just the guy who sweeps,
Yeah.
the guy who cleans the toilets.
Yeah.
For me, I like conversing with people because, and yes, I've met a lot of people in my journey,
Yeah.
and some of them I forget, and I know how it is. You met someone 20 years ago, you meet them today. Hey, Vinny, how are you?
Yeah.
Yes, how are you? Good. You forgot me. Well, yeah, I forgot about you. If you remind me where we met or your name, yes,
Maybe
I
I'll
don't take
remember.
it bad.
Maybe you'll remember that
Yeah,
night at Carnalita. But I
it,
mean, like, it's been so long.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I like conversing with people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell me, Bravini, as well. Talking about that, I've also seen. Well, just in addition to what you were saying, I've also seen the way you interact with young people. It's like you're not even. They don't consider you like they'll say Krotman if they can. Some don't even say like I see Jules say hey Mdala or whatever like, and you've got this relationship and I really really admire that about you. But I wanted to know how have you then kept? I mean, you are one of the few um, legendary DJs who's got a hashtag. Like this is like this is now you've got the deep is gonna get you. You know what I mean? You on Facebook, you're on Instagram, and you active in these platforms. How has like your view or these the changes with the music in the music industry changed the way you view things, or maybe how can I say this? How has the internet made you current and like you are right now?
I've, I mean, I suppose, since the internet came in, or since I got introduced to the internet, and I felt like, you know what, this is a tool that one can use to further one's craft, and it doesn't matter what craft it is. It doesn't matter. So I mean, and for me, my first time, I got online. I remember it was back in the days when we still had the record store, South Africa, and because I was doing a lot of uh, the orders, the vinyl orders, I was doing them, and via the phone. So basically, I'll get on the phone, call New York City at where we were ordering, and I'll be on the phone for a good 1 hour. All right.
Yeah.
So someone on the other side is just playing you new tracks, and you gotta say, "Sounds nice. Give me 10, or give me 20,
Oh,
or
really?
whatever."
Is that how you used to buy
On the
vinyl?
phone. Yes,
Oh,
on the
wow.
phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how we were buying music, and you can ask any record owner or anybody who had a record store in South Africa. They'll tell you it was the only way of doing it.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the internet came, so it changed our lives. So basically, now I can listen to the whole record or the whole track on my own.
Yeah.
Not waiting for somebody to say. And some people be like, "Hey, this guy, and he wants me to play the same song again and again and again." And hey, there's other people who want to call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a rush. So now you've got time. You can listen to this record in your own pace at your own time. And then think about it. Somebody plays your record for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it sounds dope.
Yeah.
Dope. And you're like, "Oh, give me 50 of those."
Yeah.
In the beginning, yes, it's good, but in the middle, it changes into something else, and people are like, you know what I mean?
And you just bought 50.
50 copies of a record that you're not gonna sell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unlike internet changed everything. So I'll get online, listen to it properly. Listen the beginning, the middle, the end. I'm like, okay, fine, this one is good. Then I feel this track, man. It's gonna be a seller.
Yeah.
I'll order 100 without a problem.
Sure.
So the orders were great because you could do a proper order without making a mistake here and there, but not a lot of mistake that you use via the phone.
Yeah.
So the internet changed a lot of things for me yeah, I think, yeah, back then, yes, now I started to interact with people
And social media too.
overseas. It was not even social media, like just, well, social media, yes. Something like there was, what was that thing called? One of
MySpace.
the first, MySpace,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, all of those things. So, and those things I learned via my peers
Mm.
overseas. Even the people who I was dealing with the labels, record stores, they will
Mm.
tell me, look, dude, you need to get into MySpace. That's going to be the new thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we can talk
yes,
without, or not using the phone. I mean, not even an email.
yeah,
We can, something like that. I'm like, okay. So you
yeah.
get onto MySpace and start talking to people. Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, I think I was one of the few people that started
Yeah,
social media in South Africa,
yeah.
and it's been like that ever since. And I feel like, you know, in our game, you need social media.
Mm.
You need it, as long as you know how to use it.
Mm.
Um, like, I mean, I feel like I'm not one of those guys who use social media for glamour or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, I see some people, like, you know, their life story via social media.
Mm.
I mean, somebody wakes up in the morning, it's like, I'm up, I'm having coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, yeah, if it works for them, cool.
Sure.
But for me, I use it for my business,
Yes.
especially when it comes to the DJ world, the
Yes.
music, and everything that's got to do with that.
Mm.
And that's how I use it. And yeah, I mean, and I'll continue using it
Yeah.
to wherever it takes us. Yeah.
I think it's also an important point that you mentioned MySpace, because it's no longer there, and now we've moved on to other media of social, onto
Yes.
other platforms of social media and
Mm.
through the internet. Like, we are now having a conversation like this that we could not have 10 years ago. Like, you
Yeah.
sitting at home and we sharing valuable information and experiences. But what I
Mm.
wanted to ask as well, because the main reason for me doing these chats is really to inspire other people, to say that, firstly, to humanize, the idols, to say, we are all human as well, and you could learn from somebody's story, you can learn from another
Yeah.
person's story, and incorporate that into your own life. I want to know, were there any moments in your career where you felt unsure about choosing DJing, like struggles, especially whether it's financially or otherwise?
Um, not in a sense that I doubted what I was doing. No. Uh, the fact that I've always loved music, I think that plays a huge role. And I guess, look, in a sense, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I struggled. No. But there were instances where, things were, you know, this thing goes up and down. And I felt like I, 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 I just persevered in a sense that I didn't say when things were down, we're like, you know what? No, let me just quit. No. For me, it was like, no, today didn't work out. This tomorrow, let's see what happens tomorrow, and I'm gonna work hard to make sure that what I want happens. And obviously that came at a time when I moved to Johannesburg, because for me, I just picked up a bag and then just moved. You know what I mean? Like, things were not going well for me back in Pretoria because I was not working. Yes, I had a job. I was working in a clothing shop, believe it or not, selling clothes. But I quit the job because of DJ. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So because I was getting to work late, I was tired. I couldn't, do my job
You
properly
couldn't sell
because
clothes.
obviously,
You
because I
couldn't
mean,
sell
I
clothes.
slept at 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? So yeah, but one had to give,
Yeah.
and I chose DJ.
Sure.
The 9 to 5, I said, you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
I'm not good at selling clothes.
Yes, you know. So it's because it's a choice I made. I figured, you know what, you gotta make this work.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, you know, make it work. And yes, it's not gonna be smooth sailing all the time.
Yeah.
There'll always be, you know, some things that are not going well.
Yeah.
Like now.
Yeah.
In the lockdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoever thought? I mean, you go into this game not necessarily without a plan, but you never think that something like this would happen. But when it hits you in the face, you're like, okay, so what's the next step? What do you do? So for me, it's the what do you do that you need to think about when that thing happens.
I hear you.
So, yeah, you know what I mean?
I hear you, Pravini. Just want to send a shout out to Terry Hunter because I saw he's online. He's saying what's up. And just mentioning that, I want to ask you just another, if you could tell another story. I want to, because you were booked to a gig, and the gig was on an island, right? And and then you had to use a ferry, but the ferry doesn't. The ferry, but the ferry doesn't quite get to the island. It ends somewhere, and you kind of have to swim. You know, like where were you and what happened there?
It was not okay. We were in Ibiza. I think one of my early travels overseas. Went to Ibiza, and it actually we were not going to a gig when we got to the ferry. We were in Ibiza, so I played last night, and then today we're going to lunch. And lunch means you leave from island Johannesburg to island Pretoria.
Yeah.
On a boat. Yes. And they just said, look, we're going to this island for lunch. You want to come? Of course. You know, in Ibiza, you can't stay in the hotel room the whole time.
Sure.
You need to get out. So I see everybody is wearing like swimming stuff, but I'm like, look, we're in an island. I'm wearing shorts as well. So whatever. I mean, if there's a pool there wherever we're going, you know.
Yeah, you'll put in your feet.
In.
Yeah.
I'll put my feet in the pool. You know what I mean? So we get into the boat from the harbor. It's all cool. Boat leaves. And then we get to this other island. But the boat, I mean, people who get on boats still know that the boat will never get to the shore. It will stop maybe about 100 meters, 200 meters away from the shore. And then either something will have to come fetch you from where you are to get to the shore, or you just swim. Yeah. So my crew, I see people putting their phones in plastic bags, putting their stuff, wallets, whatever. They just put it like tight over here, and then they jump in. Sitting there like, okay, what's going on here? So everybody jumps in, like, we're about 8. Everybody jumps in. Now they start swimming. Yeah. So captain says, dude, I'm turning back. Get out. So I'm looking at him, and everybody says, Vinny, come, man, let's go. I'm coming. So the guy in the boat says, Vinny, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm good, you know. Then he's like, no, go, man, I need to go back. So this boat had like a staircase, you know, that goes inside the water. So I look down, I can see the sand.
Yeah.
Because in Europe, you know, the water is clean. I mean, it's so I can see the sand. I'm like, nah, man, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I can go in there. Yeah. You know? And stand up and walk, you know, towards the shore. So I get off on the staircase. So when I get to the last bit, I let go, right? So when I let go, I just went down, like, went back. So those guys, like some of them are already at the
Yeah.
at the beach. So they look back like, where's this guy? Because now the last saw him going down, but he never came back. So what's going on? So one of them thought quickly, like, wait, maybe the reason why he didn't wanna keep on taking time, maybe he can't swim.
Yeah.
But now we can't see him. So two of them swam back,
Yeah.
and they got me there, put me up. At least I didn't drown.
Yeah.
They put me out. So Vinny comes from, hey, dudes, I can't swim, I'm black, man. So went to dinner, and yes, I was a topic. So you were going to say that I was a topic of the dinner, of the lunch.
Yeah.
And going back was cool because after he left, because remember they had to swim back into the boat.
Yeah.
They went in, they left, and then somebody came with a speedboat, you know,
Yes.
a bike.
Yeah.
you know.
Like how they were
But,
meant to do it initially. Yeah. They were meant to
So
do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
he took me back. Yeah,
No, no. I hope you do. You ate. You had.
yeah,
I hope
it
there
was
was.
scary, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience.
I was about to say. I hope there was some space for food after some seawater in your stomach.
Yeah, well, there was.
But that's a great story, and actually, Bravini, I honestly, on a serious note, I truly believe that you and many other legendary figures in South African house music, you've got these stories and many other good stories to tell, with your careers. And I do believe that you could really invest in a book, in a properly shot documentary, because your lives are worth telling even years after you guys will pass. You know what I mean? Just because of the inspiration that you just being yourselves, and the inspiration that you give us as music lovers, in general. So
Definitely.
I
Yeah,
really
definitely.
I really hope that comes through. But what I also liked is the fact that we in South Africa are one of the few countries where you find underground music on mainstream media. You don't find that anywhere else. Whether you are in Europe, in the US, where deep house music is playing on national TV, on national radio, you never find that. And your show, Vinny's House, with Don't Look Down Productions and Zanzi Magic, I think it's one of the things that need to keep on growing, just to grow our scene. And somebody asked me about that on my Facebook. Will there be another season of Vinny's House?
I was not supposed to say this, but hey, whatever, man. Yeah, it's coming. There is a new season coming, and the fact, I mean, this lockdown, I think it helped out in some ways. That's why we had to bring it back, in the meantime, while we're planning the new season, so that we can have our music playing longer on our screens.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, okay, lockdown is finished, so then it's gone. You know what I mean? So for us, and funny enough, even the fact that we show it's the old episodes that are on the screen now. I mean, people behave, or they've never seen it before. Either they've never seen it before, it's new people, or we are doing something right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because,
both.
I mean, some weeks it's trending, and people are like, oh, but what is that track you played? And I was playing off CDs even at the time. So that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So if it's probably what, 4 or 5 years ago?
5 years ago, yeah.
5 years ago. And the music we're playing then, it's still relevant today.
It's amazing.
So but definitely. The new seasons are coming, and we're still in plans with that. And it's gonna be amazing, because I can't wait for that, because you know what, we're saying that we need to open up the industry or whatever. Is that the new saying now? Like open up the industry. Yeah, I think that's the plan. And a lot of the comments I see on Sunday afternoons when the show is on, people are asking, um, will we see new faces? And I think that's the way to go, and not necessarily Johannesburg, not necessarily Gauteng, broaden up, let it be like a national kind of thing. There's a lot of DJs out there, and big up to you guys because I see what you're doing, and I think each and every province has a right to be on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
And because I see them, before the lockdown, I've been traveling all over, and I can see. I mean, the guys out there, you know what? There's a lot of DJs out there in South Africa, and I'm proud to say I'm South African today because of what you guys are doing. And yeah, man, keep on doing it. We got this. We got this, and I think we're gonna go far.
Yeah.
We're gonna go far, especially if you keep on doing what you're doing. And for me, it doesn't mean any particular genre. And I'm gonna broaden up out there. I mean, all genres are doing so well, and I feel like let's just continue doing what we're doing.
Sure.
And especially I see because a lot of them are doing it with a lot of passion, which is quite cool. I like that.
Yeah, Bravini, you said so much, and I'm really honored. Firstly, to know you, just to even talk and breathe the same air. I'm really honestly honored, but I'm secondly inspired by your journey, your longevity in the scene, and your humility, the kind of person that you are. It's really, really inspiring because it shows people that you can do this and you can be big and you can be successful in what you do without changing the kind of person that you are, and it's really commendable. But lastly, I want to say thank you so much for having this chat with me. I hope that it does inspire somebody out there, touch somebody, or spark some light into their lives. But thank you so much, Bravini, for doing this.
No, nice one for having me. And yeah, look, let's spread the love and stay home, stay safe. Let's kick out this monster together. Nice.
Yeah, let's do that. And I think just one last thing. I want to start learning how to swim because I can swim too. I think maybe Nalwena, we must just document. Let's see what we can do.
My kids are putting me to task.
Oh,
I mean, over the years. Yeah.
Okay.
My kids.
So you've gotten better.
Now we can go back to Europe now, and then I'll show you.
I will still die. I think I need some practice first. But yeah.
No. Let's put it out there. If you can't swim, learn how to swim. I had to learn the hard way.
I'm gonna do that. Learn
how to swim.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, sure, Bravini. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother.
Nice one. Thanks.